Hello and welcome to Dazatron's Diorama Llama, and this is my top 10 figures of the year. So hopefully you've had a wonderful Christmas. I really hope that's the case and you've been able to enjoy just a bit of time with the family or even by yourself. But hopefully, yeah, you've had some rest, you've had lots of nice food, maybe watched a bit of telly or enjoyed playing with your toys that you've had this Christmas, which I'm sure you've had plenty. I picked up a few, not a huge amount over the Christmas period, but these are the toys that I've picked up over the past 12 months. So there's 19 figures here, which actually is not a massive amount, but it's enough for me in the space that I have. And I've also picked up quite a number of vintage figures this year. In particular, Mighty Max is the latest rabbit hole that I found myself going down. But I'm really enjoying those figures. And if you haven't or don't know of Mighty Max, then definitely, look them up. And there's plenty of good videos out there to kind of tell you more about that, which was a toy back in the 90s. So I've also been collecting another some anime inspired figures, which I won't reveal just yet because I'm waiting for, I suppose, one of my last kind of couple of figures which I've ordered from Japan, so that's still yet to come. So there will be a video coming out in the new year talking about that in a bit more detail. So sorry to be a bit mysterious about that, but it will all make sense when I get to that, as I said, when they arrive in the new year. So let's have a closer look then at the things that I've picked up. So these are new toys. These are not vintage toys. And yeah, let's see what we've got. So we've got here, we've got Cosmic Legions. So these are just amazing kind of science fiction figures. There's a whole couple of waves now out, with a third wave due to come out pretty soon. And these are the only two that I've picked up because I could have easily gone in on the whole line. But they are amazing studios by Horsemen Studios. And actually, if I move over here, this was also my first figure from Horsemen Studios. And this was their Figura Obscura, their Sun Wukong, which is the Monkey King. From the kind of Japanese folktale Journey to the West, and just an incredible figure, I have to say. Really, really amazing. The detail and the articulation and the amount of accessories, just stunning. So let's go back to where I was before, and I suppose keeping with the samurai theme, we've got Maestro Unions. If I could just take off this headwear there. We've got Maestro Unions. Gosh, his name has gone right out of my head. But yeah, it's this samurai tiger. Again, I didn't know of this company. I saw them on Show Z. Saw a few people talking about them. And I thought he would go really well, actually, with Sun Wukong. So even though he's not part of the Journey to the West folktale, he just kind of fits in with that aesthetic with the samurai kind of feel to him. And I just really, really liked him. And I also kept with that theme with NECA's Usagi Yojimbo. I'm not sure if that's pronounced correctly, but this was the black and white edition. So the original kind of cartoon colours version was released last year. This came out at the beginning of this year. And again, I remember, I haven't read the comic books, but I remember seeing this character quite a lot in my comic book collecting days. And although I don't think he was originally kind of affiliated with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, he ended up kind of being part of that world. And I just think he's such a cool character. And I do have a thing for kind of hares and rabbits. Don't ask me what that is, but I just think they look great for some reason. So, so I decided to go on this samurai rabbit, and I just thought he was great. And I do particularly love this kind of black and white kind of comic book version. So that's from NECA, and NECA, I don't know, how do you pronounce them? They also did one of my favourite characters growing up, which was Alf, alien life form, and is just wonderful. They've just really captured the personality of this guy. Loads of accessories again. Just proper weird and wonderful, but a kind of a show that I loved growing up in the 80s. So another figure right at the back here was an offering from Lego. So this is their Dreams wave, on the back of, you know, their other kind of titles like Ninjago. And again, they've done a version of the Monkey King as well. But this is their Dreams series. And they've kind of gone with the idea, obviously, dreams and nightmares. And this is the Grim Keeper, I think his name is. And you can store, if I could just get him here, you could store a little Lego minifigure in his belly there, which I thought was really cool. He's got kind of glow-in-the-dark claws. Just a really cool figure. It was nice to build, very simple build, because it is obviously aimed at young children. But I just thought he was great. He's got a lot of presence, just a really cool character. And again, a weird kind of hair thing with those kind of horns or ears. So there you go. For this one here, is it an action figure? Probably not. It's a model kit, but it's an articulated model kit. So that's why I've put him in here as part of the action figure range. But I never thought I would ever get a toy. And I'm going to call it a toy. I know it's a model kit, but I'm going to call it a toy of Diex from the show Starfleet, which is a marionette show. Back in the day, again, when I was a wee lad, the time of kind of Thunderbirds and all those kind of shows. But this was made by Go the Guy, and if you follow me for a while, you know I am a fan of Go the Guy's other characters, like Mazinger Z and Kitatsu Jeeg, or Steel Jeeg as he's known. But I remember enjoying this show as a child, all made with puppets. And then this particular character, Diex, or Big Diex, just a really cool robot that just kind of, battle these other kind of spaceships and characters and stuff, and just fantastic. So the fact that Modoroid, who's this model kit company, released this guy this year, and he's fully articulated, a really nice build. Obviously it all comes kind of pre-painted, although I might still kind of distress him a little bit, add some paint effects to him, but he just has such a presence on the shelf, and every time I pass the shelf he just makes me smile. So yeah, just really pleased to get that one. This guy here, quite an unusual one. Wasn't sure if I was going to pick up one of these toys. This is by Formo, I think it is. And this is their Legends of Dragonor wave. So kind of in the style of Masters of the Universe. So there's only kind of like 5 points of articulation. But this character in particular, it's got the name Oni in it. I can't quite remember what the full name is, but Oni is a Japanese demon, and so you can see they've gone for that effect. And I just love the deco on this. I love the accessories. I love the color scheme. It's just brilliant. So yeah, really pleased to pick this one up. And I would have loved, actually, this wave was a builder figure wave. So if you collected, I think there's about 5 of them, you got the parts for this. It did look like a Jack Kirby inspired kind of character, from his kind of Fourth World kind of designs, if you know anything about Jack Kirby. But again, just wonderful figures. Only one I've got, but yeah, really pleased with him. And he really, again, pops on the shelf. Looks just amazing. So this one here, Omega Supreme. You know I'm a Transformers fan, and on the back of all the old packaging when I was growing up as a kid, I used to see this guy, Omega Supreme, battling away, and he was huge, just kind of towering above all the other characters. And I just thought, wow, who is that guy? I want that. And of course I never did. I never managed to find him, although there was a figure of him, a G1 figure. And one of my favorite kind of Transformer third party kind of companies is a company called New Age, and they released their version, but I think it was over £200, which was kind of way above my budget really for a figure. But then this company, Kang Toys, released their version of Omega Supreme, and that's this guy here, and is just awesome. The materials, the build, the engineering, the articulation, just the sculpt, everything about him is just like he's popped off the screen, you know. So he's just fantastic. So I was really pleased with that, and he fits really well with my legend scale kind of Transformers, which are kind of mini, if you like, versions of Transformers. So then over here we've got Mezco's Wolverine. Really kind of been following, I suppose, Mezco for a while now. I keep seeing them pop up on various kind of YouTube channels, and I just love their kind of, you know, they use soft goods. It's kind of got that kind of old retro style to them. And I saw lots of pictures of this character, and I just kind of, yeah, fell in love with it. I wanted it, not a cheap toy, but I liked that it came with, again, multiple accessories. It came with this kind of diorama base, which is just ace, really cool. Fully articulated, again, it's got these kind of soft goods, and just look great. But actually, when I got him in hand, a little bit disappointed, which I was really sad about. But he still looks cool. He looks cool. So he's one of my pickups from this year, and my first Mezco, which is quite nice. And down here, we've got McFarland's Martian Manhunter, one of my favourite characters back in my kind of comic book collecting days. I used to collect a lot of Justice League, and Martian Manhunter was one of my favourite characters from the Justice League. My favourite character actually is Metamorpho, who, amazingly, another thing that was revealed this year, he's going to appear in the new kind of Superman Legacy, I think it's called, the new James Gunn film that's coming out in the new year. And I'm just so blown away that Metamorpho, this kind of unknown character, is going to appear in there. I have actually got a Metamorpho figure, but he's not from this year, so he's not a pickup from this year. But yeah, two of my favourite characters from the DC universe. So Martian Manhunter with his classic suit there, because they did release one with, I think it's more kind of like the movie kind of version, but I really liked this version here, which is the version that I remember growing up. And then down here, I mentioned New Age figures a while ago, and these are their Dinobots. Now, I certainly know Swoop and Sludge was released this year. Grimlock, it might have been the end of last year or the start of this year. I'm not too sure. But I love G2 Grimlock, which is the blue colours there. If you know anything about the Dinobots, they're normally that kind of silver metallic grey colour, all of them pretty much. Although they do have some other kind of colours in there as well. But I really liked the G2 blue Grimlock, and actually always wanted one of the G1 toys, but I decided to go for the New Age version instead, and I was just blown away by it. Just, again, just a beautiful figure with all the chrome work. You got all the kind of the stickers kind of painted on there. Excuse, there's a little bit of dust on there. But just fell in love with this character. And this is the toy deco, so you could get the cartoon version, but I really like the toy version where you can see some of the kind of the inner workings in there. Like, that's just one of the cool kind of things about the old G1 toys. And of course, these were actually Diaclone toys originally. So the original molds predated Transformers, and they were kind of became the Dinobots that we kind of know and love. Now, this version is not a G2 version. This is actually a shattered glass version. So these are kind of the baddie, if you like, versions in this kind of alternate kind of dimensional realm. So shattered glass, yeah, all the Autobots are Decepticons, if you like. The Decepticons are Autobots. It's kind of just a mix mash. But I really like this colour scheme. Again, love the chrome. Brilliant articulation. And then Swoop here came just before Christmas, actually. And again, just a fantastic toy. And this is also the shattered glass version, because I just really like the colours on this, the gold and that kind of, it's not quite a teal blue, but it's just a really, really cool colour scheme. So yeah, really pleased with those this year. This is another New Age figure. So this is Artfire. And again, just love the colour scheme on this guy. There's multiple versions of this character with different kind of colour schemes. But I particularly liked this version, and you still get his kind of target master as well there, which is his gun that converts into another robot. But these are third-party companies, they're not official companies, but they do produce some amazing toys. So my only kind of official Transformer that I picked up this year, surprisingly, was Studio Series Scourge from the Transformers Rise of the Beasts movie. Really enjoyed the film. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I liked it. I mean, Bumblebee is still my favourite of the kind of more recent films. I'm not a big fan of the Bayverse films, but a massive fan of the 1986 movie. One of my favourite movies of all time. Just takes me back to being a kid every time. But I enjoyed Rise of the Beasts. I thought it was a decent film. And Scourge, which is I suppose an original character, or kind of a take on another character called Tarn, certainly reminds me of anyway. But yeah, their kind of movie version, and it's a really good figure. It's an outstanding figure, I have to say. Just both modes, the vehicle mode, as you can see here, and his robot mode, which unfortunately I can't show you right here, but are fantastic. And the transformation as well is really, really great for a mainline figure, because it's not too difficult, but it's still fun, you know. And then probably my other favourite, I suppose, company for making legend size Transformers, which is the Transformers that I collect now. I don't collect Masterpiece, which is the larger versions. I get one now and again. Is these here, and these are by Kang Toys. So these are their Predacons, and again, just fantastic figures. And what's nice about Kang Toys is they create their own versions, really, of them. It's their own design. Whereas if you look at the New Age, they really are kind of sticking closer to the toy or the comic book or the cartoon versions. Whereas with Kang Toys, it's very much their own take on the kind of classic characters. And at the moment, I think there's been 5 of these released. There's still one more, and they will combine, which I can't wait to put all of these together to make this kind of giant Predaking robot. Yeah, really looking forward to that. But I've enjoyed these. Really good Transformers. Not always fun to transform, I have to say. Sometimes they're a bit tight. Sometimes things just get in the way. But I enjoy both modes. I enjoy their kind of beast modes and their robot modes. Both of them look fantastic when you get there, but not always fun in the kind of the process of transforming them. Actually, there's one that I haven't. I've just remembered. In fact, it is my Christmas present this year. My Transmetal. Not Black Arachnia, but for some reason, again, the name's going right out of my head. But he's kind of this spider robot, just really, really cool, nice kind of chrome in there. In fact, I'll see if I can get him in a moment. It's because I've just put him on the shelf on display, and when I pulled all these figures out to do this video, I've left him up on display. But yeah, I'll have to kind of pick him up. So in fact, bear with me, and I'll just go and get him. Okay, so we're back, and here is this character I was talking about. This was a present from my wife, and which I did ask for. I haven't picked up any of the other Transmetal series. I think it's called Transart or Transmetal, the company that make this. Another third-party company, so not official. But again, this character looks like he's popped off the screen. Now, I wasn't a massive fan of Beast Wars. In fact, I'd say I wasn't a fan at all, if I'm being honest. It was the thing that turned me off Transformers. It was too much of a change at the time when I was growing up that I really didn't take to the characters, and I just didn't like the cartoon, even though if you talk to Transformer fans, it is voted as one of the best cartoons, the Beast Wars kind of era. And it's all kind of computer graphics. But yeah, I just didn't take to it, and I kind of got out of Transformers at that time. And it's only really when I got back into Transformers that I could kind of look back and appreciate these characters and just actually what cool designs they are. I didn't like the cartoon, but the designs are fantastic. They are amazing. I think this is their version of Tarantulas. I could be wrong. There's probably Beast Wars fans there shouting at the screen. But I think that's who it's based on. Because there was Black Arachnia, which is like the female kind of spider, and in fact I've got a version of that character from Prime and Transformers Prime, which is again a fantastic figure. But this one I just saw pictures of, and I'm a bit of a sucker for chrome, particularly kind of die cast parts, which this has. So the feet here are die cast, and I just fell in love with this, and I just think it's such an amazing design. It just looks so good. It really does. So yeah, this was my last pickup of the year. Literally Christmas Day, this guy arrived. So, well, was given to me. So I'm really pleased with that one. And so yeah, 20 then pickups this year for kind of new toys. And then it's the hard bit. Because I actually genuinely haven't thought about what my top 10, in fact I'm probably just going to do my top 5, I think, just because of time, because I don't want to make this video too long. So what would my top 5 figures be from the 20 that I've picked up this year? And as I said, I haven't thought too much about this. Hopefully this should be quite an honest reflection on the toys that I've picked up. So I just need a little bit of time to think about this, to think about which characters or figures just have I really enjoyed overall, you know. Right. Okay then. So let's go then. So in 5th place, okay, so number 5, I'm gonna have to put, yeah, I'm gonna have to put this guy, because he just deserves to be in the top 5. Just everything about it is just quality. I love the materials, I love the design. It makes you want to look at it, it makes you want to pick him up and kind of play around with him. And he's got a couple of modes actually. He's got a kind of like this kind of weird kind of spider bike mode, as well as turn into kind of this kind of metallic spider as well. And yeah, just great. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna go with this guy as number 5 in my top 5. Number 4, ooh, number 4, yeah, okay, number 4 then, I'm gonna go with Cosmic Legions. Just incredible sculpted toys. They've got both a kind of a retro feel and a modern feel to them. I love science fiction characters, and the nice thing about Horsemen Studios is that they're able to kind of make something new but familiar at the same time. I am classing these two together because I know it's a whole wave, and I could have easily have any of the wave here in this kind of spot at number 4, but they are just incredible. Such good articulation as well, lots of accessories with them, and they just look wonderful on a shelf. Why they're not higher, I gotta be honest, I don't know. As I said, I haven't really thought about this too much. I'm just going with a gut feeling here. Which of the figures, I don't know, just make me smile or make me happy. But I love these. So these are in number 4 place. Oh gosh, this is hard. This is hard. So I think 3rd place because I just keep going, the camera keeps going back to him, is Alf. I absolutely loved Alf as a kid. He was one of those things I used to watch with the family. It used to make me chuckle. I have watched another one recently. It doesn't quite have the same kind of nostalgic feel to it, kind of watching it back as an adult. But I have fond memories of particularly of this character, and they've just captured it. It really is Alf as if he's on the screen, and NECA are brilliant with their sculpts. Not always great with their articulation, but actually this guy had much more articulation than I thought he would. He's got knee joints, he's got kind of ankle rockers. To say he's such kind of like a bulky character, and he's a furry character, which is again quite hard to do in solid plastic. I just think they pulled him off brilliantly, and the addition of the kind of the soft goods and the accessories, and he's even got, I don't know if you can see this here, he's got his mouth. Let's have a look. His mouth articulates as well, so you can kind of move his mouth from side to side. So you can get some really kind of cool expressions with him, like he was able to get in the show. And yeah, he just makes me smile. He's on my shelf, and he just takes me back to being a child. And there's something really special about that, isn't there? So who we got here? And so we had 5th place, didn't we? Yeah. 4th place, 3rd place. So I've only got 2 spots left. Now, just because I don't know if he classes as an action figure, I'm just going to give him a special mention at this point, because I'd like him to be in the top 5, because he feels like he should be. Because again, a bit like Alf, he's one of those characters that I just never thought I would get any kind of figure, even though it is a model kit. But to have this guy here, Diex, it's just a brilliant sculpt. It's a brilliant kit, just really fun to make. So you get that extra kind of bonus of being able to kind of make him. Really good articulation. Not sure how robust he would be. I know I've had model kits before which have kind of broken quite easily. He feels quite robust. In fact, the plastics don't feel flimsy at all, I have to say. So I'm really pleased with the quality. Obviously, he feels really light. He doesn't feel like an action figure when you pick him up, because he's a model kit. So he's kind of a much kind of hollow plastic. But I've got to give it a special mention. So even though I don't know if I could put him in my top 5, because I don't know if he'd be classed as an action figure, I'm going to put him as close to that top 5 as I can as a special mention, because yeah, he's ace. I love it. So 2 or 1. Okay. So I think my number 2 spot, which is another 4 Horsemen Studios, has to go to this guy. He's got a couple of head sculpts in with the kit. I've got this kind of aggressive face here, but he's just such a wonderful figure, and I really enjoyed playing with him. I enjoyed photographing him when I got him in hand. He inspired me to make a diorama based on kind of Japanese mountains and the kind of cloud that he rides. So do check that out if you haven't seen that already. So any kind of character kind of inspires you to kind of make a diorama for it, I think has to get that kind of special mention. And just look at the detail in this. Look at his belt there, his knee guards. Is just beautiful. And the only figure obscura that I've gone in on, I haven't really kind of been that taken with the other characters, but I'm so pleased with this. I always wanted a Monkey King. I've always liked that character, so to be able to get a version of that at this kind of standard is amazing. So my top spot then, my number 1 figure of the year is going to go to, so kind of drum roll please, and I'm putting these together as a collective, is to the New Age Dinobots. Always loved the Dinobots, which is a bit weird, because you might be looking at that and thinking, well, why haven't I gone for the kind of classic Dinobots? Just because it doesn't bother me too much. I like new takes on characters. I think this is kind of why I like the Kang Toys. And I used to like a company called Iron Factory, because they did their own version of them I'm not a kind of a G1, what's the word, purist. Yeah, these, they're close enough to the originals, but you got the new kind of deco and kind of color schemes, and I just love them. But they're just such good toys. The size of them are great for my kind of collection, my display, because they don't take up a huge amount of room, but yet they still have presence. The paintwork on these are fantastic. The engineering on them are incredible. I mean, they really put the mainline Transformers to shame, and they're just such clever transformations, well thought out, well engineered, and there's no fear of breaking them, unlike some of the third-party companies. They're really robust, and they just get everything spot on, in my opinion. They get the sculpt right, they get the paintwork right, they get the engineering right, and all of those things together just make them my kind of favorite company. And these 3 figures in particular, and I can't wait to see the other Dinobots in the range when they are released. But yeah, these are my number 1 figures of the year, the New Age Dinobots. So, if I don't see you beforehand, Happy New Year. Enjoy the celebrations. Yeah, reflect on this year, on the good and the bad, and look forward to seeing you again in the new year. Goodbye for now.